They say pain keeps you human. So what happens when you don't feel it at all? For Nate, that curse became his weapon and his punishment. What started as an ordinary day at the bank turned into the bloodiest day of his life. It all started like any other boring Monday at the bank. Nathan, or Nate as people called him, was halfway through his morning routine. Blended breakfast, black suit, and that same lifeless staff meeting he hated every week. Everything felt dull until she walked in. A new intern named Sherry, young, confident, and carrying that kind of energy that instantly lights up a gray room. Nate barely noticed the coffee in his hand, or that it wasn't coffee at all. He poured boiling water instead of cold, and without realizing it, scalded his hand. Sherry panicked. The skin looked bad, but Nate just looked at it like nothing happened. Calm, casual, like the pain didn't exist. And it didn't. To make up for the awkward moment, Sherry invited him to lunch. At first, Nate politely refused, but deep down he knew he needed to stop living like a robot someday, so he agreed. At the cafe, everything felt surprisingly easy. Sherry laughed at his dry humor, and Nate found himself relaxing until she offered him cherry pie. He hesitated. That's when he finally told her the truth. Nate had a rare condition. He couldn't feel pain, not from heat, cold, or anything. If he stepped on glass, he wouldn't even notice until he saw blood in his shoes. That's why he lived on blended food, to avoid biting his own tongue. Sherry was stunned but fascinated, so she cut a small piece of pie and fed it to him anyway. He smiled. For the first time in a long while, he actually felt something, not pain, but connection. Later that night, Nate called his best friend Roscoe, a gamer buddy he'd never met in person.
Cool, I don't drive a Harley, I'm not this...
Roscoe joked that Nate should finally get out more. "You're not made of glass," he said. An old classmate walked into the bar and called out, "Hey, Novocaine."
Novocaine?
That was his old nickname. Kids used to beat him up because he couldn't feel a thing. As they caught up, Nate's smartwatch buzzed. It always reminded him every few hours to use the bathroom. If he forgot, his bladder could literally burst without warning. It's not exactly the kind of reminder that impresses women, but it kept him alive. When he came back, Sherry was chatting with that same classmate. To ease the tension, she suggested the three of them share a drink and forget the past. Shots were poured. Except this wasn't regular whiskey. It was loaded with chili extract. Nate drank it without flinching while the other guy nearly coughed up a lung. Sherry laughed, clearly intrigued by this calm, fearless man. And later that night, things got a little more personal. At her place, Sherry noticed Nate's body was covered in tattoos, strange symbols, names, and scars. She asked if he could still feel pleasure. Nate smiled and said, "Some things, yeah." And for once, he didn't overthink it. The next morning, Nate walked into the bank happier than usual. But the moment didn't last, because just before lunch, the doors burst open, and a group of men in Santa suits stormed in with guns, fake beards, real weapons. They ordered everyone to the ground. The manager froze at the vault keypad, so the leader started beating him mercilessly until his fake beard fell off, revealing a scarred face. When Nate tried to step in, the man turned on him next, throwing punches that would have dropped anyone else. But Nate didn't even flinch. Not one sound, not one reaction. And that, unfortunately, caught everyone's attention, including Sherry's. The leader noticed the look between them. He grabbed Sherry, pressed the gun to her head, and demanded Nate give up the vault code. For the first time, Nate's calm broke. He gave them what they wanted. The thugs knocked him out cold and dragged Sherry away. By the time Nate woke up, police sirens filled the air. The robbers were gone, and the woman who made him feel human again was their hostage. And that's when something inside Nate changed. He wasn't going to be a victim anymore. He took a wounded officer's gun, stole a police car, and went after them. Not as a banker, not as Novocaine, but as a man with nothing left to lose, and no pain to hold him back. Nate speeds through the city, sirens screaming behind him. All he can think about is Sherry and the promise he made to keep her safe. But this isn't a movie hero. This is a guy who bleeds like anyone else. He just doesn't feel it. The robbers split into two cars. Nate tails one, pushing the stolen cruiser to its limit until he corners them in a dead end. The thug steps out, tall, mean-looking, built like a wall. His name's Ben, and Ben has no idea what kind of man he's dealing with. The two crash through a restaurant kitchen, shoving tables, breaking pans. Total chaos. Ben punches Nate again and again, but Nate barely moves. That blank, pain-free face just freaks the guy out even more. Nate grabs whatever he can, a frying pan, a rolling pin, anything to fight back. When Ben tries to shoot, Nate blocks the gun with the frying pan. The barrel gets red hot, burning through his palm. But Nate doesn't even blink. In that split second, Ben hesitates. Nate takes advantage, plunges his hand straight into a pot of boiling oil to grab the gun, then fires. One shot. Ben's down. Steam rises off Nate's arm, skin bubbling from the oil. He looks at it, sighs, and wraps it with a dirty towel. That's just his normal. Before leaving, he snaps a photo of Ben's tattoo, a mark on his neck that might lead to the rest of the gang. Then he drives off, his hand half-cooked but his mind focused. Back at home, the police are already labeling him a suspect. He opened the vault. He chased the robbers. To them, it all looks too suspicious. So Nate turns to the only person he can trust, Earl, the old man whose loan he'd once saved. Earl doesn't ask many questions. He just pulls the bullet from Nate's hand with a pair of rusty pliers, then seals the wound shut with superglue. The whole thing looks like a horror show. Nate almost passes out, then jabs himself with a shot of epinephrine to stay awake. That's his version of coffee. Before leaving, Nate gives Earl 2 stacks of stolen cash to pay off his mortgage. "Call it early payment," he mutters, trying to smile. Meanwhile, his gaming buddy Roscoe finally tracks down the tattoo in the photo. It belongs to a shady parlor run by a guy named Zen, known for doing ink for half the city's criminals. At the same time, the remaining robbers regroup at their hideout. Andre, Ben's brother, is getting nervous. His phone keeps ringing, but there's no answer. And their leader, Simon, is starting to lose it. That's when we learn the truth. Sherry was part of the plan. She was supposed to seduce Nate and get the vault code quietly. But the robbery went sideways, and Simon, her adoptive brother, turned it into a bloodbath. Now she's trapped in the middle, realizing this isn't what she signed up for. While that's happening, Nate walks into Zen's tattoo shop. The place smells like smoke, blood, and regret. He shows Zen the photo and asks if he knows the guy. Zen laughs. "Yeah, that's Ben, one of mine." But when Nate pushes for more details, Zen grabs a knife. Bad idea. The two crash into the mirrors and furniture. Glass shatters everywhere. Nate, cornered, does something insane. He grabs a handful of broken glass and drives it into his own fist, turning his hand into a weapon.
The fuck are you doing?
Zen slashes wildly, but Nate doesn't stop. He grabs the tattoo gun and starts crossing out the swastika inked on Zen's neck, burning the man with every stroke. Screaming in pain, Zen finally gives up the address, Ben's house.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Let's go. Clark, Ben Clark.
To make sure he doesn't forget it, Nate tattoos the address right into his own arm. Because when your body's already full of scars, one more doesn't matter. By the time Andre arrives at his brother's place to check on him, Nate is already there. But this house isn't just a house. It's a death trap. tripwires, crossbows, and homemade explosives. The moment Nate steps inside, a spiked metal ball slams into his back.
What is that?
He just grunts and keeps walking. Then an arrow shoots straight into his leg. Still, he limps forward, determined to finish it. Every step is agony for a normal person. But Nate's not normal. He pushes deeper into the house, blood dripping, breath heavy. No hesitation. But he's not invincible either. One wrong move and a rope snags his foot, yanking him upside down. Now he's hanging there, bleeding out, waiting for whoever shows up first, his friend Roscoe, or Ben's revenge-driven brother. He calls Roscoe for help, his voice shaky but calm, like he's ordering a pizza, not trapped in a house full of traps. Roscoe groans, says he'll be there in 15 minutes, and hangs up. But before help can arrive, Andre walks in. Ben's brother, big, angry, and ready for revenge. Nate tries to lie, says he's just a thief. Wrong place, wrong time. But Andre spots the tattooed address on Nate's arm. Then Simon calls, confirming what Andre already suspects, that his brother was killed by some skinny guy in a suit.
Ben's dead. Random good Samaritan. Skinny guy in a suit.
And that skinny guy is hanging right in front of him. Andre doesn't waste a second. He cuts Nate down, throws him into a chair, and begins his version of justice. First, he twists the arrow still stuck in Nate's leg, just to see what happens. Nothing. Nate's body jerks, but no reaction. That makes Andre even angrier. He grabs pliers and starts ripping out Nate's fingernails one by one. Still, nothing. For the first time, Andre looks confused. How the hell are you not screaming? Nate just stares back, quiet, eyes empty. But the torture goes too far when Andre takes out a small blade and talks about gouging eyes. For the first time, Nate feels real fear, not pain, but pure human fear. Right before Andre makes the cut, the door explodes open. Roscoe storms in, swinging a metal pipe like a superhero from the wrong movie. He smacks Andre to the ground and yells, "Man, this guy looks like Jason Momoa."
I said I kinda look like Jason Momoa.
Right.
Well, more like if Jason Momoa melted in the sun. They're about to leave when Andre, half-conscious, lunges again. Roscoe tosses Nate a knife, but it lands the wrong way, stabbing straight through Nate's hand. He just sighs, pulls it out, and uses it anyway. Roscoe sprays Andre with bear spray, but another trap goes off. A sledgehammer drops from the ceiling and knocks Roscoe's helmet sideways. Bricks rain down. Andre, furious, grabs Nate's throat and starts choking him. Nate gasps, barely reaching for the arrow still stuck in his leg. With one last push, he rips it out and drives it right through Andre's head. Silence. The cops arrive minutes later, yelling for Nate to come out with his hands up. Instead, he grabs Roscoe's Harley, roars the engine, and rides away into the night. But the escape doesn't last. When he stops, he finds Roscoe's helmet with handcuffs inside. Roscoe sold him out. Meanwhile, Sherry's world is collapsing. She refuses to run away with her brother Simon, finally realizing she's been manipulated all along. But Simon doesn't take rejection well. Nate tracks them to a garage where Simon's loading cash and weapons into a van. He raises his gun, but Simon just laughs and says Sherry's his sister.
She's my fucking sister.
Sherry insists her feelings for Nate were real, but Nate can't tell what's true anymore.
Nate, I'm so sorry. Okay, I know.
Before he can think, Simon attacks, brutally fast, knocking him down, slamming his head into the concrete. Nate fights back, but his body's giving out. He's too broken to keep up. Simon drags him under a car, ready to crush him to death. But Sherry jumps in, trying to stop her brother. He grabs her, points the gun at her head, and a shot rings out. Simon falls. The cops had finally caught up. They Except, Simon's not done. He wakes up in the ambulance, kills the medic, shoots a cop, and steals the vehicle. Even half dead, he's still dangerous. Sherry helps a wounded officer into a car and speeds after him. Meanwhile, Nate's handcuffed inside the stolen ambulance, bruised, bloody, barely conscious. He sees a fire extinguisher, but to reach it, he has to break his own finger. You can hear the snap. No reaction. He frees himself, grabs the defibrillator, shocks his chest to keep himself conscious, and slams his hand on Simon's face, sending a current through him. The ambulance flips, metal tearing, glass flying. Simon crawls out first, still alive, still insane. He grabs a scalpel and starts strangling Nate. Every hit, every blow, Nate's body is breaking.
I'm sorry, I have to go. Wait.
Bones cracking. His arm snaps so hard the bone pierces through the skin. But that's when Nate spots a syringe of adrenaline on the ground. He grips it with his broken arm and drives the exposed bone straight into Simon's head. Silence. It's finally over. When Nate wakes up, he's in a hospital bed. Heart failure, brain hemorrhage, broken bones. The doctors say it's a miracle he's alive. They kept him in a coma for 3 weeks. He's technically a criminal, but the cops let most of it slide. After all, he saved an officer's life. Sherry wasn't so lucky. She gets prison time. Still, Nate promises to wait for her, no matter how long it takes. And now, for the first time, he finally enjoys a slice of pie. No fear, no hesitation. A man who couldn't feel pain, but learned how to feel everything else.